Hi everyone, welcome to the first Headliners REACH Across event with the Education Authority. Today we have a few people speaking about Headliners and REACH Across, and today we're going to be showcasing the podcast we all produced last week and a few of the photographs, so I'm sure you're all really looking forward to seeing them. So first up we have Gareth. He's just going to explain a wee bit more in detail about what this project really is about with the Education Authority.
So my name's Gareth Doherty. I'm project manager for Headliners. So obviously, these are all here. These have done a few bits and pieces with ourselves, and these know what we're about and how we work. So I know these have done some good work. These have done a podcast, a few pieces of video, or a few pictures and stuff that these have put out. So we'll go through that at the end. But just to say, obviously, Headliners, welcome to you. We're glad these are on board. It's an Education Authority event, and it's around the issues that you've discussed around diversity and inclusion and those sorts of issues. So we're just holding an event now to highlight some of that. So thanks for listening.
So I am representing REACH Across. REACH Across, we're a youth organisation. We've been going about 25 years. We're a cross community, so we work with people from all around Derry, whether it's from schools to other youth groups and stuff. We mainly recruit through schools. We go to all different schools in Derry, in Strabane, and wherever else, and we try and bring people together.
Hello everyone, my name is Joshua McJoggin, and I've been a member since last year, and I personally believe that inclusion is important, so we can all be together for a bright future and all. And so we've been like working on these videos and podcasts where we just talk about our lives from our perspective. Well, as I said, back to what I was saying about inclusion. Inclusion is obviously important for the world, and we have to learn to respect each other and live together regardless of our differences, regarding if it means our race, our culture, our social class, our gender, sexuality, religion, political beliefs, whatever. We're all human, and life would be boring if we were all the same.
I suppose my first question for you is, what is it like to grow up in Derry?
It's alright, there's just loads of history that you have to learn whenever you're kind of younger, because Protestants and Catholics normally live in different places, so sometimes it's a bit unsafe to go to different places just because of the political views, but it's alright.
Do you ever feel a bit in danger or something like that in Derry?
For me, not really, but I know a lot of people who've had bad experiences, Protestants and Catholics, so I don't really feel unsafe, but if I was alone and there was big groups, probably, but that would probably go for either way, but yeah, a wee bit.
It's good for the most part, but you hear from your older family members about what it used to be like, and it's way worse, and you're just glad you didn't grow up like that.
It's harder to meet new people because schools are all separate and there's not really any youth groups are all joined, but it's good.
Would you say that Derry is an inclusive place?
I think in some aspects it is, but in terms of schools and stuff, it's really separated. You just have Catholic schools, Protestant schools, and then some are mixed, but it's inclusive, but only kind of sometimes. But youth groups are normally really inclusive, but again, it's kind of only some things,
Would you say that Derry is an inclusive place?
To be honest, not really, because a lot of people in Derry can be very just judgy. I don't know, no, it's not really
What would you do differently?
In school and RE, we don't really learn about different religions as much as we probably should, and I think that would be really good.
I feel it's getting a wee bit better, because sometimes people in the younger generations, our age, don't want it to be the way it was ages ago, so now they're they don't really care. But then other times people they grow up and their families would bring them up, and they have perceptions of people from who are not the same religion as them, and then they're still like back in the olden days.
It depends on like who your parents are, doesn't it? Because if my parents don't care, but people be telling me what their parents say to them, and if you're growing up with hate, it's just going to carry on, isn't it?
I think most people like to think it's inclusive because you surround yourself with people who like aren't really judgmental or aren't like don't have a bad kind of point of view, but for the most part people you don't know, you kind of sometimes assume that they are like kind of they have bad views and stuff like that, so no, I'd probably say it isn't that inclusive.
And what do you think are the sort of problems young people specifically face in Derry? You know, maybe not specifically in Derry, but young people nowadays in general. The troubles, obviously, we're past time user sort of post-legacy of that. You know, do you feel one thing he's raised quite a lot there was issues of gay, bisexual, transgender people, those sorts of issues? I mean, do you feel there's progress being made in that, or do you still feel like it's not right, the way people are treated, etc.?
Well, it's like not right. Like any discrimination at all obviously isn't right. But I think a big part of it is because that like a lot of the older generation, like our mums and dads, would have grown up in like quite close-minded like kind of households. Again, it carries on. But I do think that like the generation now is way more open-minded. But just because we're open-minded doesn't mean like everybody is. But I feel like everyone in this room definitely understands like the kind of discrimination that goes on against, you know, LGBTQ, even like just like Protestants and Catholics and stuff. But I feel like a lot of the things that are going wrong is like we're kind of like our generation is kind of seen as kind of troublemakers and stuff because there's not a lot to do, like in Derry especially. So I feel like we're also kind of, you know, hated towards just even as a generation. So I do think like, you know.
I mean, what do you think might help with the young people? So like, for my I'm a bit older than you, obviously, but from my viewpoint, over lockdown, like I saw a lot of things that I haven't seen young people do in general. You know, a lot of skateboarders all of a sudden seem to have popped up.
Like take like across the bridge, like Peace Bridge for example, like there's a whole space. You think like they would do something there, especially because they're constantly giving off about, you know, like loitering or people just like skateboarding outside the Guildhall, like all they're like there's being noise, they're taking up space, or like people going out at night walking around. But there's so much like that they could do, you know, like to like resolve, you know, all the, you know, like complaining they do about people our age going out. But there's so much more that they could build and so much more like parks and stuff, you know, like there's loads of room for parks and stuff. So it's kind of just like there's nothing we can really do about it.
Well, thanks for all your help and hope you've enjoyed some of it.